Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This is Judge with the Cosmic Answer LLC. I'm glad to have all of you joining us today. Now, as you know, the one that put all of this together is my beloved bride, Gigi Jackson, working hard for us behind the scenes. And I thank you, my beloved. I really appreciate this. So, as you know, before we get this program started, I would like to acknowledge that there is a holiday today, and this is Juneteenth. I don't have to go through the history of it, but I just want to acknowledge Happy Juneteenth to everyone out there, for everyone to know what this holiday represents to the United States of America and to the creed of my people. I also want to acknowledge to everyone I have a bit of a tan. I do a lot of bicycling. All right. And it's been pretty sunny between the vernal equinox and the summer solstice here. So I want all of you to bear with me and let's enjoy the show. This is going to be an hour program and we're going to walk through this lesson. All right. So Vishwa, let's see. Kakshya missed along with the whole Ashtakavarga tropical. Have no clue.
That's okay.
It's okay, brother. That's okay. But we know. That's all that matters. We don't have to talk about them because they have their own decadence, their own way of doing things. But it's to each his own, right, brother? So with the Kakshya slots, this is a system used for predictive astrology. A lot of people don't come across it, but I've been wanting to address it. So with the Kakshya slots, it's mainly discussed with the astrological concept of the Ashtakavarga. So anybody that don't know, if you have like a particular software that you look into your natal chart, there's always a category that talks about the Ashtakavarga. And what you do when you go there, it has a system which is called Bindu, Rekas, or points. It's not house based, it's sign based. But when you look at your natal chart, just go by the ascendant, and the signs will correlate along with the house systems if you use the Baba Chali. So when you're applying the Ashtak Varga, always understand it correlates to the Rashis or the signs. So some signs may have more points than other. A lot of experts would say if your Ashtak Varga reveals that a particular sign is under or below 28 points, it's good or average or below average. I don't care if you have a sign to where it only has 10 rekas in it. If there's a planet, or as they would call graha, that has a gochar going through that sign, and it gives 5 or more, that's an auspicious transit because there are 8 Kakshya slots. That's the maximum. So there are instances where a graha like Shani, which gives only 39 or 39 rekas, but it can concentrate 7 or 8 maximum points to that one sign, and you're good. So don't ever go by the amount of rekas in a sign. You have to pay attention to the Kakshya slots because if it's a malefic or benefic, those planets will produce auspicious results during that transit. All right, so we're going to discuss what that means. Now, there are Kakshya lords. There are 8 of them. All right, there are 8 Kakshya lords. And if you have a pen and paper, I want you to write this down. Start from the top. We're going to start with Saturn or Shani. Next, Jupiter, or is known as Brahaspati or Guru. The second slot, we have Mars, which is known as Mongol or Kuja. The fourth slot, we have the Sun or Surya or Sol, S-O-L. The fifth slot is Venus, which is known as Shukra, Lakshmi, or the beloved, what's her name, babe? Oshun.
Oshun.
Oshun. Yeah. The sixth slot, we have Mercury, which is also known as Bud. The seventh slot, Moon, Chandra, or Soma. And the eighth and final slot is Ascendant, or Lagna, or Rising.
Kind of help everybody out.
Yeah. Now, each of these slots are divided by 3 degrees and 3/4 of a minute. So 3 degrees, 45 minutes. Because if you take 30, which is the amount of degrees in each Rashi, and divide that by 8, you're going to come to the total of 3 degrees, 45 minutes. All right? 3 degrees, 45 minutes. So, again, that order, we have Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, and the Ascendant, because it follows after the Chaldean order. All right? It follows after the Chaldean order. So, what do you do when you have these Kakshya slots? Well, we have to start with Saturn because that is the slowest moving graha. So, whenever a planet transmigrates into Rashi, you're going to come across the Saturn Kakshya first, all right? So from 0 degrees to 3 minutes and 45 seconds, you're going to have Lord Shani as the Kakshya. 0 degrees to 3 degrees, 45 minutes. The next slot, as that planet continues to migrate through that sign, we're coming across Jupiter. Jupiter, again, each sign is 3 degrees, 45 minutes. Jupiter starts at 3 degrees, 45 minutes to 7.5 minutes. 7 degrees and 30 minutes. That's the Jupiter slot. 3 degrees, 45 minutes to 7 degrees, 30 minutes. Then we're going to go to the Kakshya slot of Mars. 7 degrees, 30 minutes to 11 degrees, 15 minutes. The next slot we have is the Sun, which is 11 degrees, 15 minutes to 15 minutes. Once the Sun is complete, we're halfway through the Rashi. All right, village? The fifth slot, which is Venus, it starts at 15 degrees all the way to 18 degrees, 45 minutes. Then the sixth slot, Mercury. Looking at my notes here, 18 degrees to 45 minutes to 22 degrees, 30 minutes. The seventh slot, the Moon, which is the fastest moving planet, 22 degrees to 30 minutes to 26 degrees, 15 minutes. And the last and final slot, which is Lagna, 26 degrees, 15 minutes to 30 degrees. Follow me on that? All right, so now that we got all of those Kakshya slots available, now what do? This is what happens. When you look at a natal chart, find out where each of the grahas are, and then go to the Ashtakavarga. Based on your Kundli, and you look and apply and see what that planet is currently doing. Now, let's just say Mars is transiting through Capricorn, where it's exalted. Is it necessarily going to produce powerfully auspicious results? Not necessarily, because you have to pay attention if it's going to give the potential results according to the Kakshya slots in the Ashtakavarga. So let's just say you are a Pisces ascendant. So if you're a Pisces ascendant, this applies to your 11th house, as Makara Rashi is the 11th sign in a Pisces ascendant chart, and you have Mars transiting there, and it's exalted, right? Go to your Ashtakavarga and see how many rekas, which is also known as bindus or points, is contributing to that sign. Now, let's just say Mars is only giving three points. And you would think Mars is exalted. What is going on? You don't have to look at the Navamsa. You don't have to look at the Chastrastamsa. You don't have to look at any of that. Not pertaining to this. So if the exalted Mars is transiting through Capricorn, also known as Makara, and it only given 3 points, I want you to just focus on what that exalted Mars is giving you in your 11th house, because we know the 11th house is the house of gains, fulfillment, your network system, your friendships, and your elder siblings. So you would look at how many bindu are in that sign. And let's just say Mars is contributing to the Kakshya slot of Jupiter, Venus, and Moon. Jupiter, Venus, and Moon. That means wherever Mars is, check the degree, is in that slot. And if it's not contributing, is giving inauspicious results. Not no results, inauspicious results, because Mars is still a malefic, it's still exalted. So what that means, Mars is going through and doing what Mars does best. Now, let's just say Mars is transiting through that 3 degrees, 45 minutes to 7 minutes, 7 degrees and 30 minute slot of that Jupiter. Here's what you do. Mars is about to do some good things for you. Now, when that happens, Village, look at your 11th house. Check your natal placements and find out where Jupiter would be in your chart. That's how this works. And you also have to check your Mahadashas to see what planets are activated. All right? So this is how the Kakshya and the Ashtakavarga works. Another example. A lot of women that contact me wants to know about relationships, juxtaposed to a lot of men want to know about career, and juxtaposed to young adults that wants to know about arranged marriages or exams and travel. All you have to do is look at the Ashtakavarga and see which house is pertaining to what you want. For the men, look at your 10th because that's career. For the women, look at your 7th because that's relationships. And for the young adults, you got to look at your 3rd house, your 9th house, and your 11th because that pertains to exams and tests and challenges in travel. So with that being said, if you want to know what's going to happen, dates that are coming up, these are the tools you must use. Now, for any enthusiasts out there, you may need to consult an astrologer to figure these things out. I'm just giving you a grassroots analysis right here because I know there's a lot of natives out there that gets confused, full of ambiguity, and wonder why there's so many systems to figure out when is this going to happen. Because when you mix systems together, i.e. the Jamini system, the Brahiparashara Hora Sastra system, or the Jamini systems, or the Nadi systems, you begin to have a hybrid of predictions that's going to cause a lot of confusion. I particularly likes to use this. And when I'm consoling my village, sometimes I walk you through it if you want to learn, but you could just leave the hard work up to me. So if you have your own personal astrologer, this would give you a good glimpse of how to see it for yourself so you won't be totally in the dark, all right? So without further ado, I am open to explain anything if anyone has any questions out there.
Just a FYI, I didn't realize with the live on Facebook, they were saying that if you do 200 stars, you give 200 stars to the comment, but let them know that they can easily comment now. And I took that off for a moment.
All right. Gigi just informed me if I have 200 stars, I'll be able to comment.
No, that's what it was on there, but some
Mhm.
they're now they have easy access to comment without being pressured to put the stars on there.
Yeah. So pretty much what Gigi has informed me, there's easy access for you to comment. So feel free to join with your questions or your natal chart information or anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use an example of a chart that says here and now. A here and now chart. So from where I am currently residing.
You want me to? I can present it.
Yes, please.
So you're saying, so you say you're here now. What is it right now? Who is this in it? Is it Virgo right now?
No, I just hit the here and now.
I know, no, I was saying I'm doing that right now. But what I'm saying is the ascendant of here.
Scorpio.
Oh, Scorpio, sorry. Okay, I'm doing it. It's giving me, why do you gotta be like that?
Yeah, so while we're doing that, I just want to give an example of what to expect from a here and now chart.
I'll go ahead and work on it.
All right, so from where I am, the moon is on the horizon, and the ascendant is at 21 degrees in Varishika Rashi, or which is known as Scorpio. That's the ascendant right now in Jeshta Nakshatra, but the moon itself is in Anurata at 10 degrees from where I am. All right. So let's just say we were to examine what the planets are doing. So we're going to look at planets that has high dignity, low dignity, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So I'm looking at 3 grahas that are in its own signs: Mars, Mercury, and Saturn. They're all in their own grahas. Mars is in Aries, Mercury is in Gemini, and Saturn's in Aquarius. All right. So that being in their own signs should produce some pretty good results, right? Well, let's find out. Let's definitely find out here. So we're going to check Mars first. So Mars is in Aries. According to the Ashtakavarga, the Ashtakavarga reveals that Mars is given 7 rekas into the sign of Mesha or Aries. 7. That's a good number. Now, overall, Mars gives 39 rekas, but it'll concentrate wherever it is where it wants to be. So with those 7 rekas in the sign of Aries, it's given 7 out of 8. So that means there's one Kakshya slot where it will give inauspicious results. So from what I can see here, it will not be contributing any Reka points, let's see, to the Kakshya slot of Saturn. It will not be given any points to Saturn, but that's at the very beginning, because remember, we discussed that the Saturn Kakshya slot is 0 degrees to 3 degrees 45 minutes. But the remainder of Aries, retrograde direct, Mars is going to be killing it, given this chart auspicious results. Now, it's all different based on yours. I'm just using a here and now chart, or a prashna, as you would call it. Does that make sense, everyone? All right, so while Mars is transmigrating, or gochar, through Aries, expect good results for this chart. Now, if we were to go to where Mercury is currently located in Gemini or Mithuna Rashi, it only gives 4 points. Now, 4 points is average, but Gemini is owned by Mercury, so you would think it would give a lot of points the way Aries was contributing to Mars. But this is how it works. So Mercury is only given 4 rekas to its own sign. Now let's go to Saturn. Saturn is in Kumbha Rashi, or which is known as Aquarius. Saturn overall only gives 39 points. But if you were to see what I see, in the sign of Aquarius, Mars is only contributing 3 points. That's very low. In the Kakshya slots of Mars, Mercury, and the Lagna. So what do you think that means? I don't want you to focus on the Malatrikona, the exaltation, bad dignity, good dignity, or debilitation. This is just based on the transits, not your natal placements, but the transits of the current grahas in Kochar. So what we're going to do with that, let's just say we focus on Mercury again. And Mercury is at the degree of 11. Is at the 11th degree in Gemini. So I want you to pay attention, go back in the notes, and see the Kakshya slot for where Mercury is contributing its energy. So again, Mercury is giving 4 points in Gemini. And those 4 Kakshya slots are Venus, Mercury, Moon, and Lagna. Venus, Mercury, Moon, and Lagna. So remember, Mercury is at 11 degrees. It's at 11 degrees in 29 minutes. 11 degrees in 29 minutes. So what slot is that village? That is the Sun Kakshya slot. Because the Sun Kakshya slot is 11 degrees, 15 minutes to 15 degrees. So does Mercury give any points within a Sun Kakshya slot? The answer is no, because Mercury does not contribute to that Kakshya. However, it will give points to the Venus Kakshya slot in the near foreseeable future. So what that means, what is Mercury doing right now? Mercury is up to its shenanigans. That's what's going to happen because it's not giving any points there. So don't expect any communicative expertise or any gains when it comes to learning a skill or taking any exams. You have to be careful. These are the slots you have to look out for when these planets are transiting. And it also depends on which graha is doing it because each planet moves at a particular speed, right, babe? Mm-hmm. Let's just say we have Jupiter, transiting a particular Kakshya. Jupiter will remain in a Kakshya for 56 days. That's almost 2 months. So let's just say Jupiter was transiting through an auspicious position where it's given a Reka. That means you're about to have 56 days of Jupiter's blessings. 56 days of Jupiter's blessings. Now imagine if Jupiter was giving 7 points to that sign, 7 or 8 points. If Jupiter was given a maximum, let's just say a maximum of 8 points to a sign, you do the math. That is 56 times 8. 56 days times 8 slots. That's well over a year. That's 448 days. That's 448 days. That's a year and practically 3 months. If Jupiter were to contribute all 8 rekas through a sign. And let's just say your Jupiter was debilitated in Capricorn, but Jupiter still give 8 points. You see how that works, family? That's how this goes. So don't ever stress if you have a debilitated planet when it's in transit, which is in transit. Now let's just say your natal Jupiter was debilitated. of course, is going to produce some inauspicious activity. But if the transit of Jupiter is going through there, it's going to help you. That's how this works. So I hope that helps everyone. Another thing I want to go to here. How does this pertain to your natal placements? Here's how this goes. We're gonna focus on one of the fastest moving planets, which is Moon or the Ascendant itself. Now, with the Moon, it'll go through a Kakshya slot within 6 3/4 hours.
Did you want me to show?
You can if you like. You can if you like. Yeah, the Moon moves so fast. I wouldn't really focus on what the Moon is doing because you're not going to feel its energy for long. It's only going to last hours. And with the Ascendant, minutes, because the Ascendant transits every sign every 2 hours. I will mainly focus on Mercury and up, but Moon and the Lagna, not so much. Yeah, not so much at all. If you have Saturn in transit, it's going to go through a Kakshya slot for 3 months and 22 days. 3 months and 22 days. Saturn is strong, and if it's going through a position where it's giving you auspicious results, count that a blessing. I've seen some charts to where Saturn gives no points throughout a sign. And Saturn is going to transmigrate through a sign, I'm thinking, for 2.5 years. Yes, Saturn is going to be through a sign for 2.5 years, let alone a particular Kakshya slot for 112 days. So imagine that, everyone. Now, as this pertains to your natal position, let's just say you have Venus transiting through a sign to where it's giving 5 Reka points. And I want you to pick which Reka it is. This is how it's going to pertain to your natal chart. Let's just say Venus is going through the Kakshya slot of the sun. All right? It's going through the Kakshya slot of the sun. Now what I want you to do is go to your natal chart. If Venus is transiting through the Kakshya slot of the sun, and it's your 7th house lord, meaning you're an Aquarius ascendant, what do you think is going to happen? Babe, what does Venus represent?
Luxury, beauty, spirituality, comforts.
And marriage.
Okay.
And it's going through the Kakshya slot of the sun, which is the 7th house lord of an Aquarius ascendant, which is also marriage. So Venus transits a sign for 3 days and 18 hours. If Sun is the 7th house lord and Venus is transiting through that Kakshya slot, this is double relationships. What do you think is going to happen to that person? Marriage or relationship is going to happen? This is how predictions work. All right? That's how predictions work. So these are the rules of the Kakshya, the Ashtakavarga, or whatever Mahadashas that may be activated. So right now, if there's anybody out there that have any questions or comments, let me know, because this is how this works. I had other examples of how these things happen, because the Kakshyas will also trigger wars, promotions, accidents, graduations, promotions, everything you can imagine. So if you're a novice and you just want to explore your own chart, go to the Ashtakavarga and keep those Kakshya slot notes that were aforementioned. It's really useful tool. Now, here's a more complicated situation. You have Mercury going through, the normal transits, and it's going through a Kakshya slot of the Lagna. What does that mean? If it's going through the Kakshya slot of Lagna, you automatically go to your natal chart and see where your Lagna is. And that Mercury energy is going to directly impact you, the ascendant. And when that happens, there's something about you to where you're probably going to lose weight because Mercury makes you lose weight. You're going to be in a position to converse with someone or something. And it's going to also put you in a position to promote yourself because Mercury loves to speak and to do those things. And everybody wants to know, what about the nodes, Rahu or Ketu? If Rahu is transiting, it's not going to produce any results because it's a shadow. It's a mathematical point of karmic axis. But if a planet is transiting over your natal Rahu or your natal Ketu, what Kakshya slot are those nodes placed in? That's the energy you're going to feel. Let's say your natal Rahu is in the Kakshya slot of Sun. If it's in the Kakshya slot of Sun, that means your Rahu or your Ketu is at 11 degrees, 15 minutes to 15 degrees. And you happen to have the moon transmigrating through there. Again, the moon is only going to be there for 6 3/4 hours. But you're going to come across some energy that's going to activate that Rahu and that Ketu. So when the moon is transmigrating through that Kakshya slot of the Sun, where Rahu is, you go to your natal Rahu position. Hey, Milton, I'm glad you made it. I was concerned that you was going to miss out today, but it's good to see you. You're going to feel some type of karmic impact with that Rahu or that Ketu. And that's all you have to do. All right. Have I missed anything? I think I've covered the majority of it, unless I can give some more examples. So everybody, we're about 39 minutes into the hour. We still got plenty of time here. You're more than welcome to ask me anything. Because for the meantime, I'm going to go through a particular natal chart who is first in line. Andrea Blossom, if you're watching, we missed you last Wednesday. Remember, you caught us right at the end as we were signing out. And we were talking about the fourth house and the joy of the abode. That's what we was discussing last week. But Drea, if you're watching, come on board. We haven't forgotten about you. This is your chance. But for the meantime, I'm going to look at the natal chart of one of our village people. He's a native from Lagos, all right? So I don't know if you're joining with us, brother, but if you are, you're first in line. Have any questions, have at it. But yeah, everyone, this is how this works. The Kakshya slots is very interesting. Because I bet you a lot of people look at their natal charts and they wonder what's going to happen. What does all this means?
Right. I want to say that it has helped me a lot. Like, so if I have, instead of bothering you all the time, I'm trying to memorize how to use it. So anytime I have questions, I got to see which planet is going to serve me well in that house. It's very, very helpful.
Exactly. So, I mean, I even become giddy over my own chart when that happens. Because I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be some good days today. It's going to be some bad days today. Or it's going to be some neutral days.
Right.
Well, believe me, when the bad days come, I just want to sleep the whole day. Just abscond into the dream world.
Or meditate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Helps. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when the good days come around, I said, universe, what you got for me? Bring it. I'm excited. But then Saturn, oh shoot. Here we go. I got 112 days of nothing. Yeah, my camera went out.
Oh, I did? Uh-oh.
Yeah. Hold on. See if I can get this back up. There we go. Yeah, I got it back.
Okay. Anyone would like to have questions and everything? I know he gave me his birth chart, but I guess he's not here. But what you could probably do is go ahead and read his chart a little bit. I wasn't sure what he wanted though.
No, that could be a bit personal.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be a bit personal.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they gotta promote the quarry, you know.
Yeah. So whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. But that's a really good topic, babe. It's very, very
Thank you.
helpful.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, everyone. That's the topic of today, the Kakshya slots. Like I said, I leave the hour open for questions. If we don't have any questions, we normally will extrapolate and close things up because this is going to be recorded. You can always go back, take notes, and learn from this.
You use some big words.
I like what Jason Black says when he's using a complicated word. He always says, "Look it up."
That's right. Or I say Google it. Google now has what?
Mm-hmm.
They now have the dictionary and everything. So there you go.
Yeah, and Melton, don't worry about missing the beginning. Again, this is going. You can replay this back anytime you want. Just hit the cue or the rewind button.
And we're all still learning here.
Yeah.
And everything. So, I mean.
But Melton, since you're on, what's your question? I mean, I have your natal chart. What's your question? Have at it. We got 17 minutes left in the hour.
But we'll be doing this more often.
Yes, every Wednesday.
It's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning. Mm-hmm. So, Melton, when you're ready, I got your chart ready just in case. Just in case I don't make it home tonight.
Funny. Well, hey, we told them what time is it in Africa right now? Lagos.
Let's see. Right now, the time there, I believe it's around 12:44 in the morning on Thursday.
Yeah. So, well, he'll try next time.
Yeah.
What I'll ask him to do is just pretty much.
He'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll find out.
He'll have a question. Just tell him to give me the question, and then you'll just answer it there, and you can come back to it.
Yeah. Thank you for your question, Melton. Let's have a look here. Oh well, okay. My Rahu now in 8th house, soon in Uttara Bhadrapada. I don't know what to ask. All right. Yeah.
So
well, Rahu is in Uttara Bhadrapada. So here's how I know what you want to ask, because the Rahu is anything taboo. It's a smokescreen. It's something radical. So you want to know what's going to happen that's going to be out of this world. So as we know, Rahu is in Uttara Bhadrapada, but your natal Rahu is in Hasta. It's in Hasta. So right now it's having that opposite effect. But again, since we're on topic, let's go to the Ashtakavarga. All right. So Rahu is in your Pisces. That's your 8th sign. And what Kakshya slot is Rahu transiting right now? What slot would Rahu be transiting? So, Melton, based on where you are, I'm going to look at the transit chart, all right? Okay, Rahu is at 17 degrees. So what's 17 degrees in the Kakshya slots? It's in the Venus slot. Oh, Melton, we know what Venus represents. Marriage, relationships. That's what's going on. So we're going to now look at your natal Venus placement. What is Rahu doing to your natal Venus? And your natal Venus is also exalted. It's in Pisces. So Melton, we've all, yep, I know it. Now, Melton, the answer to your question is we've already discussed that off the record. You and I and Gigi, we know your situation, and this is what's happening. All right? This is what's going on and what Rahu is doing. Now, it's in Venus, shaking things up. The good news is Rahu and Venus have a mutual understanding of how life works. So just be patient and let the chips fall where they may. It may be uncomfortable. Again, we know your situation, but just let it slide through. Now, how long Rahu is going to be in that Kakshya slot of Venus? Because it always goes in a retrograde motion, right? Mm-hmm. So we need Rahu to get out of that 15th degree. So I'm going to look at the ephemeris chart and see how long Rahu is going to be there. So Rahu is going to be there throughout the entire month of June, but it's going to be leaving. It's going to be leaving around the 8th of August. Rahu is going to be leaving the Venus slot around the 8th of August. And then it's going to go into the Sun Kakshya slot. The Sun Kakshya slot. And then Rahu is going to activate where your natal sun is. And your natal sun, Melton, it's in Aquarius. Now I'm going to check your Baba Chalit to see if it's the 7th house. So we always have to check the Baba Chalit as well. Now your sun also falls in the 8th house, but it's in your 7th sign. Because in the Baba Chalit, Melton, you have multiple grahas in a house, not a sign, but a house. So that means there's definitely something going on with what we discussed off the record many times. All right. Nice. And that's what's going on with you, Melton. Thank you for your question. And Melton, since you're the only one here, if you have another question, we still have time.
Take advantage. We have 10 more minutes.
Take advantage.
It's a nice topic.
Yes, it is.
This is great information.
Oh, that's Sister from Friday.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
You need to get your ass up and cook, clean up, and do something.
Oh, she said thank you.
You're welcome, Melt.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Again, we have 10 minutes.
I'll look at her.
I have so many questions. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You have one question. No, that's your second question. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and ask.
Where is Milton from again?
I know she was born from the Netherlands.
Yeah, we should ask her. Milton, where are you located? I know English is not her first language, is it?
No, but she handles it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's doing a good job with English.
Yeah, everyone, we're waiting on her question. And again, the topic tonight are the Kakshya slots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is another predictive tool that you can apply to your repertoire. I think it sounds so formal.
No, that's who you are, Virgo. Virgos are like that, aren't y'all?
Oh, you're telling my business.
Oh, my bad.
All right, I am drawn to the dark occult. Um, lately watching on YouTube and chaos magic and dragons. Am I crazy?
No, I
Hmm,
mean,
no.
do you know
If
my
you,
house?
I mean, Melton, you got to look at your eighth house. Look at all that Piscean energy you got.
So don't feel alone. I'm in the occult as well.
Right.
If
Yeah,
people
you
be
got a lot
curious.
of activity going on there, especially that Purva Bhadrapada energy.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, your Mercury, let's see. Your Mercury's in Uttara Bhadrapada. Your sun is in the Aquarius portion of Purva Bhadrapada. That means that's automatically an indicator of the occult. Your what sign your house, your sun rules the ascendant. And your sun is in the eighth house. So that means you are about the occult.
Tell her she's not alone. The occult, I'm in the occult. I'm always curious about certain things, and yes, it may appear to be dark, but tell her, no worries. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Melton, if you heard that, you're not alone. Gigi said you have nothing to be ashamed of. And guess which Mahadasha is activated?
What?
The sun.
Ah, so she really in it.
Yeah. And you know, the sun is a 6-year period. So it's going to be activated all the way until the 13th of May of 2029.
So Melton, she can message me. I love studying. I'm kind of curious about Aleister Crowley, a lot of things. So no worries at all. She said dark but good. Ha ha ha.
Yep. So yeah, Melton, just based on your question, it's because your sun Mahadash is activated. Your sun is your Lagnesh. Your sun is in the 8th house of the occult. Mm. Now, while you've been thinking about dragons lately, you have to look at the deity of that nakshatra. Mm. Right, and the deity of Purva Bhadrapada is Aja Ekapada, or in the West is known as Baphomet. But you're next to all of that Uttara Bhadrapada energy, which is Adhir Badanya. Now, Aja Ekapada is the fire dragon, where Ahira Badanya is the water dragon, Melton. So there's your answer with the dragons. Because when it comes to the nakshatras, you have to look at the deities that are at work. So the moment you said dragons, I said Bhadrapada energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Melton, Purva Bhadrapada, which is ruled by Aja Ekapada, is the fire dragon. And Uttara Bhadrapada, its deity is the water dragon, Adhir Badanya. OMG, that's why. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, if you're into dragons,
no worries.
There's no worries. We're all here playing a storyline.
And simulation.
Yes. And Melton, with 4 grahas in one sign, I know it's difficult, but this is something that your life has allowed you to manage over time. So when those grahas are activated intensely, just know there's going to be some difficulties, especially when planets are transiting through all of those fixed grahas. You just got to hang on and got to do some heavy prayer and meditation. Mm-hmm. It's going to get intense. And this is just how life goes. And you're welcome. I see that comment. Yeah, so we got about 4 minutes. We're at the we're about to come to the bottom of the hour.
Mhm.
If there's anyone else in here, we got a few more minutes. If not, I am going to go about my day.
All right. Thank you all.
And I'm going to see all of you in a week. Technically not, because y'all know y'all going to bust me with them DMs. Y'all know y'all going to still talk to me on RGG.
But thank you so much. This was
Mhm.
fun. And
It was.
we'll be doing this every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Yeah, every Wednesday. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right. So, hit my theme music, which is nothing right now.
I got you. No, I got you.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Okay. You have a wonderful day too, Melton.
All right.